So let's talk about sitting down, getting ready to play a game of Battletech. And this podcast, this vlog, along with a few others that we're posting up to the archive, my plan is to serve as an introduction to getting started with Battletech, focusing on the Game of Armored Combat starter set. This is a great time to get into Battletech, or for those of you who've been fighting the long war and coming out of retirement, an awesome chance to jump back in. So often what we see in a war game is this idea of fairness. We have a mission that's assigned, and we build our lance, we select our units, and we go head-to-head. This allows us to select different units and different tactics, but in theory, and I say in theory because no game is 100% accurate all the time, in theory, have things be fair. So the way that Battletech approaches that, and what most players use, there's a couple of different systems. Battle value. Through the calculation of tonnage and weapons and equipment, each unit in Battletech, and for now we're focusing on mechs, but this applies with infantry, tanks, vehicles, everything all the way up, gets assigned a certain number of points. And the idea ahead of time is, often what you'll see in a game is, you and I will agree, okay, how much battle value do we want to play? 6,000 points. You now have 6,000 points to buy your resources with. You might also discuss with your opponent ahead of time, if it's possible, are there certain things we want to just include or leave out? An example might be, if we are playing a 6,000 battle value game, I can buy some artillery pieces on there. But maybe for this game, because it's going to slow it down a little bit by introducing another phase of the game, we want to leave it out. So you kind of go back and forth and maybe agree with the type of units you want to limit it to and spend your points. So if you want to go all assault mech with 6,000 battle value, you get maybe 4 or 5. Unless it's like clans, you get like 2. Or maybe you want to do all tanks and infantry and show up with like 20 vehicles and literally hundreds and hundreds of infantry on the table on there. The idea is going head-to-head. And that works for the most part. And in the Battletech community, that's kind of the DNA to figure out putting together lists and the efficiency of units. A second way, and an older way, would be based on tonnage. And this was kind of the way into the battle value system, in that with a mech and a vehicle, the tonnage limits your armor, your weapons, your systems. So in theory, if we both take 50 to 55 to 60 ton mechs on there, 1-to-1, and usually it's like plus or minus 5 for the spread, it should be about equal. And this works a little bit too, but it's not quite as refined. And given the diversity in Battletech, the battle value system is kind of the gold standard. The final way, and this is something that often we would do if it's just a really quick pickup game and we don't really have some time to calculate everything, pick 2 light mechs, 1 medium mech, 1 heavy mech, or go for a light, medium, heavy, and assault. Now obviously if you take a 100-ton assault mech, you take an Atlas, and I take one of the assault mechs on the lesser end of my collection, that is a big scale difference, especially in assault mechs, but you can sort of calculate things quickly that way. If you use that method, though, keep in mind it is going to be very, very swingy. So in putting together your lance, figuring out what to play, I would recommend agreeing and starting with battle value. You'll need the tech manuals. You'll need the stats for them on the sheets in the starter sets, both the head-to-head and the Game of Armored Combat. That's where that battle value, that BV number is. That's the assignment for each mech in the box. But in the fly, in the moment, you're ready to go. You could just say, hey, let's come up with tonnage. Let's see approach from here and push it out that way.